Fantasy Football 101 on Sports Radio 1450. 529-1450 is the phone number. Adam Stark alongside Eric Pedigo, Mark Graham, and Nicorelli taking your phone calls at 529-1450. Still have to run through the injuries at wide receiver and tight end, but let's take a couple of phone calls. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Hi. The guy that wanted the 6 tickets, I'm sorry he couldn't get through on the phone. I'm going to give him my cell. It's 652-6483, but they have to wear orange.
Nice. 652-6483. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
We're assuming that's it. 652-6483. She's got 6 tickets. Another guy had 3 Illini tickets, 502-1909. I don't know why people don't want those tickets.
Everybody bailing on the game today.
Just because of the weather, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a good football game, I have a feeling. Illinois got a lot to play for, and Ohio State, obviously, a good football team. So, I even have some buddies in town from Columbus that are heading over to the game right now. So definitely a big game today in Champaign, but also a big week in fantasy football leagues as everyone's inching towards the playoffs. Some teams need some wins. So we're taking your phone calls at 529-1450. This is a key week. Do you guys know anyone that starts playoffs next week?
No.
Is it all maybe the week after that?
Week 14 is the earliest I know of any league.
Really? Some's 13, yeah. I've seen 13. But most are 14. Some are even 15 if you're in a smaller league. But this is definitely crunch time. If you need some W's, you're running out of time.
Oh, yeah.
529-1450. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Hey, fellas. How you doing this morning?
Good, good.
Good.
Stacked?
You guys told me to start Ben Jarvis.
Yeah.
Killed me.
Well,
I did start the Jets D. I think that got me about 15 points. I started Keller.
We didn't.
But I had a chance to get Leon Washington.
We didn't say play Ben Jarvis, Green, Ellis this week. We said last week.
Yeah.
And actually, for the record, too, because I had some emails about this, the only guy we really missed on last week, guys, we did really good last week, was Jones-Drew. We were down on him. He had 3 touchdowns. That's it. Everyone else we were money on.
Hey.
But go ahead. Go ahead, Colin. What's your question?
That's all right. Yeah, okay. Should I start McNabb, Rogers, or Rivers this week? And out of the receivers, I can start 3 receivers on this here. I have Jackson, Colston, Jennings, and Evans. I also have Donnie Avery in there as well, but I don't know. I'll hang up and you guys tell me which ones.
Man.
He's got a pretty good team for complaining. 529-1450 is the phone number. McNabb, Rogers, or Rivers, Jackson, Colston, Avery. What was
Jackson, Colston, Jennings, Evans, and Avery.
Wow.
Is he playing in a 2-man league?
I guess.
Well, McNabb's going up against Cincinnati, so I think that's a decent start there. Rogers, it's got a little bit tougher game. Rivers is another possibility. Be honest with you,
not at Pittsburgh.
I know.
I'd have to go McNabb.
I go McNabb, and then Jackson, Colston, and Jennings. I like out of the 4 receivers. Evans, good receiver, bad situation right now.
I still like Avery though too for the Rams. We've been talking about him for the past couple of weeks. Niners haven't really been able to stop a whole lot, and I think Bolgers. I think they're finally going to open up the playbook this week, or at least I hope. The Rams will. I know they're playing Mike Martz, so they want to show him a little bit of something. So I think Torrey Holt and Donnie Avery are good plays both this week for the Rams.
That makes me want to puke, dude. That just makes me want to...
I know, I'm hoping too much, right?
Yeah, see, I feel almost the opposite way, because I think without Steven Jackson, that offense is nothing. I really do. I think that he is that one key that really, moves the entire team. I don't think I could go any worse than what I've got right now, but...
And you make a good point, because with no Jackson, the defense can just pin their ears back and then go after a Bulger, who has happy feet anyway. So you make a real good point, Nick.
Yeah, you take the top 3 receivers, Jackson, Colston, and Jennings, I think. But as far as the quarterbacks, Chicago's got one of the worst pass Ds in the league. So Aaron Rodgers may not be a bad play, but if you have guys like McNabb and Rivers on your team too, I mean, Rodgers is a good starter, but he's 3rd on your list.
Yeah.
McNabb's probably the way to go.
Yeah, just by pure matchups, you got to go McNabb at Cincinnati. The weather's worse up in Green Bay than it is here, so that's not going to be a nice game to be passing the ball around. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Hello. I had a question on which of the 2 running backs would you start out of these 4? Got Deuce McAllister, Larry Johnson, Brian Westbrook, and Willis McGahee.
Westbrook and McGahee. Just before I even look at anything.
Well,
McGahee might be a
Baltimore
tough
Giants.
matchup. Yeah. But you got to go Westbrook, that's for sure.
Right.
Yep. You might roll the dice on LJ, like Mark was saying earlier. He's got a good matchup. If he's anything like the LJ that we all think we know, this might be a good week for LJ.
You got to think that LJ coming back after missing 4 games is going to be ready to play, invigorated, and he's in a completely new offense than when he left. He's in a better situation now that Kansas City has a lot better passing game. I like Johnson this week. He probably won't go off for 110 yards, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 75 yards and gets a score. I think that'd be great production out of him. I like Johnson and Westbrook for you.
Kansas City plays much better at home, and San Diego doesn't stop a whole lot of people. New Orleans doesn't stop a whole lot of people. So, yeah, I guess LJ's a risk, but I'd go LJ and Westbrook.
Or possibly McAllister.
Thank you guys very much.
Yep. McAllister's at Kansas City. He's supposed to get the bulk of the carries, so possibly McAllister, but I'd still feel safer with LJ.
529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Calling for an update on Nugent's groin.
Well, he already played, so he's good. Thanks for the phone call.
Thanks.
It's getting ice right now.
Jets beat the Patriots on Thursday night 34-31. Do you guys even start any Patriots running backs for the rest of the season?
You just can't.
No.
You can't do it because you just don't know who it's going to be from game to game. We went into the last week, Jarvis was supposed to be the starter. Well, he did, but then Morris played, Falk played, and the best running back was who, Nick, for New England?
Matt freaking Castle.
Unbelievable.
I didn't know that was his middle name.
It actually is.
I don't know a lot about him.
On his birth certificate.
I know he went to USC, but didn't even play, and now all of a sudden he's playing really good, but he's got me up big time in one of my leagues already, so that's nice to see. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
I got 3 quarterbacks. One of them is Matt frickin' Castle. And I can play him.
Too late.
My other 2 are Rivers and Hill with San Francisco. I usually start Rivers.
Yeah, I bet.
Just playing Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you've got
and every time I think this, I was like, bad matchup. I'll switch and play the other guy. That's the game that Rivers throws 3 or 4 touchdowns, but he's not supposed to.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, if you had somebody else like a McNabb to look at, then you would say Rivers. But you're talking about Sean Hill. So forget the matchup. You have a Pro Bowl quarterback in Phillip Rivers that should just be in there every week. And Pittsburgh, even though they're number 1 against the run, they're number 9 against the pass. So they're not as dominant against the pass as they are the run. You got to go Rivers.
Thanks.
But next week play Castle.
Yeah.
529-1450 is the phone number. 529-1450. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Yeah, guys, I was calling a question kind of down the road here. I got McNabb as my starter and Garrard on my bench. And my question is, do I trade Garrard? And keep in mind, there's not a lot of good quarterbacks out there for free agency. But do I trade Garrard for a skill player and just roll with McNabb the rest of the way? Because I'm worried if he gets hurt, I'm locked for the playoffs, and I want to make sure I got a pretty decent quarterback during the playoffs. So do I trade Garrard or just hang on to him in case McNabb gets hurt, or do I try to get a skill player and just hope McNabb doesn't get hurt?
Now, who do you have as an option on your free agent list as quarterbacks?
Oh, usually the best guy out there is Gus Frerotte. He's usually everybody's bye week guy, and then they end up dropping him.
Okay.
So he's probably the best one on there.
It's tough because McNabb is a heck of a quarterback, but he's got a propensity to get hurt. You want to make sure you're covered. If Frerotte is there, possibility. Even Tyler.
Well, you got the playoffs coming up. So you definitely want to have 2 quarterbacks on your roster just in case.
Here's the question:
Who does Jacksonville have coming up, Eric?
Jacksonville.
You got the schedules right in front of you. Who's Jacksonville got coming up? Garrard's not the best quarterback in the world, but depending on their schedule from the remainder of the season.
Garrard has Minnesota, then he's at Houston, at Chicago, Green Bay, and then Indy. So it's average. It's he doesn't have super matchups. I think the main question here is, caller, do you need help at your skill positions?